Hello. It is Monday, March 21st, and you're watching 3 Drink Minimum. I am one of your co-hosts, Chrissy Mayer, and sitting across the room from me is the lovely and talented Chris Vaccarelli.
Hello.
Hello, Chris.
How you doing?
And we've got somebody very special as our guest and co-host today. From Conan, you've seen him on Comedy Central, Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, Access TV, and many, many other impressive credits. Put your hands together for Nick Vatterott.
Woo!
Hello, Nick.
Hi, it's so good to be here.
We're so happy to have you. Nick and I rode the train up together, and to me, the show kind of starts like on the Metro North.
That's for sure.
You know, I always feel like when I meet a guest in Grand Central Terminal, I always feel like I'm waiting for like a Tinder date or somebody. It's like, I'll be by the clock in the brown coat. I don't know, but no, I'm so stoked and psyched that Nick is here because I've been a fan of your comedy for years and years and years.
This is I've been wanting to do this show ever since I was a little kid. I told my mom I wanted to be on it, and she said, "What is it?" I go on the internet. She said, "What's that?" And she said, I said, "Zen Live TV." And she said, "What are you talking about? You're 2 months old. How are you saying all these words?" And
like, let me tell you, in 20 or so years, this will be a thing.
I was already 25 when he was 4 months old.
no, you look great. You wear it well.
Yeah,
I'm falling apart.
You're falling apart?
I'm 16 years old.
It was a really...
I've lost my hair. I lost my hair when I came out.
It was a hard 16 years.
It's been rough.
It was fun. It was a fun train ride, and we I don't know. I always feel like on the train ride up here, I always feel like we're the weird ones. Like we look at all the Westchester people going back to their homes, to their kids in their lives, and then we're coming here to do a show. Or
that's rather do that.
Do you just feel like that
you
you stick out? I feel like I stick out everywhere I go. I don't know.
You do?
I do.
I do. Do you? I feel.
Oh, I always.
Because I know that I'm different. I know that I'm not going home to bake a chicken for anybody.
Yeah. I did the family thing. The family thing doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Gets in the way.
It's overdone.
Yeah.
Gets in the way with life.
It's overrated.
Gets in the way of podcasts for sure. But this is exciting. So this was we wanted to have Nick on a month ago in February. He posted something very controversial, but also extremely true about the UCB East. So the UCB Theater, I don't know if some of you people know, maybe we don't know, very famous improv theater started by what is called the UCB 4, or the founding 4 members of the UCB, which is Matt Besser, Ian Roberts, Matt Walsh, and Amy Poehler. And they started that, in the 90s in New York City. They had 1 theater, and then they had 2 theaters in New York, and now they have 2 theaters in LA, 2 theaters in New York. They're a huge, company. They're a major moneymaker, but they're also kind of like the feeder school, where SNL will maybe pick their people
Pipeline
from.
to SNL.
Pipeline, that's how they like to market themselves. Anyway, so Nick it was, I guess, if you want to, I don't know if you want to, jump in, Nick, but you had been pissed off a couple of times, and then it was finally, the final straw.
Well, and this is also just, I think, stand-up in general, there's just sort of, comics put up with so much stuff. Because I feel like so many comics are just desperate for anything to happen, so they just put up with shit. And I think I've hit a breaking point in the past couple of years where I'm just I don't need to have every single comedy entity in the entire world, be best friends with them and let them push me around or speak to me in whatever way or do whatever things. You cannot work a comedy club in Peoria, Illinois, because the guy was a huge douche to you, and that's okay. You don't need every single comedy connection. I don't know if enough comics realize that. I think comics should understand their worth a bit more, and not put up with shit. And,
I know that for sure improvisers don't understand. Well, are improvisers worth anything? Some are.
They're in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Because the problem is you can say I'm never gonna fault a comedian for, taking a gig that underpays, where they treat him like shit. Because there's this argument against that, and that is, well, because everyone wants to do like a stand-up union, which would be impossible to do. Yeah. But the stand-up union would at least, you would keep these people from treating comedians like shit. But as long as there's always a desperate comedian that will go and take that gig, then unions won't do us any good because there's always another comedian that's not going to join the union that's going to go and take this gig. So but I'm never going to fault a comedian for doing that. But like in general, I think if we all just kind of were like, no, we're not gonna fucking, let you put us in a sleeping bag in a dumpster to put us up.
So your main beef with the UCB East is that they charge for shows. They're a huge company. They have multiple theaters, but they do not pay any of their improvisers or stand-ups to perform.
My main beef is that they're assholes. That's my main beef. Not all of them. There's people that work there. There are performers there. There's a lot of people there that are great people. I'm friends with a lot of people. There's some good happening from them. I have no issue with the UCB4 that started it. I don't even think they know what's happening. I think they're so detached from it all at this point. They don't realize that these people that work for them are being so shitty to these other performers.
Right.
But since they are being such assholes, and I'm not talking, I'm talking about like mall cop shit. I'm talking about jerk cop pulls you over for no reason and is an asshole to you for 45 minutes, up the street from your own house type of asshole shit.
For example, like you're trying to tape your own set.
Just trying to tape my own set. First time I ever went to stand-up UCB years ago, I asked them if I could put up my camera. They said yes. I asked the next time. They said yes. 4 or 5 times. They're like, you don't have to ask. You just put it up. This is like 5-6 years ago. The other day, or the thing that set this all off was actually dozens of things over the years, and then the last 2 or 3 times something's happened, I've been like so pissed about it that I wanted to like vent and rant.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, nah, it's not worth my time. It's not worth my time. And then this last time I get there, setting up the camera, I'm in the back, not bothering anybody. I don't have like a giant, I'm not like, Tackleberry assembling like a giant rig of, tripods and scopes and anything. It's a little tiny, it's like a 3-inch tripod with a clamp you put on the back of a seat, tiny camera attention. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing.
Was it one of those wraparounds?
It was like a little wraparound thing.
A little like the one that grabs whatever weird thing it's on. I have that.
They're fun.
I'm a big fan of the wraparound.
They're great. You like the wraparound, right? Yeah, it's...
I like a wraparound.
Yeah, I mean, the least they could do is let you record your set.
It's it.
You're not
going to pay me. You're not going to pay me. You're not going to do all this stuff. At the very least, let me go up and eat shit in front of a tape that'll be unusable that I can't do anything with.
Maybe you'll show it to like fucking grandkids or something, or a festival.
Maybe you know what too. In a lot of these places, they have the bands play, and they get paid. And they're not famous or anything, but they get paid.
Well, I guess the main beef with the UCBs is Nick broke down in his rant how much money the UCB company actually makes, because each improv class is what, $500?
It's like $400.
Yeah.
They're sold out within seconds. They have enough money to build 4 separate. They're a chain. They're a chain at this point. And then and I understand you can't. I don't know. So, this guy was an asshole to me. It wasn't that he told me that he couldn't do it. I don't know. All I know is he had a neck tattoo. That's all I knew. He had a neck tattoo.
Always a good look.
And
was he a Nazi?
And he kept raising his hand up in the air, and like I thought he was blessing me, but someone else says it means something else. And he goes, and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, man. It's like I'm actually the next comic. Because I understand him. First of all, I like that he came up and made sure I wasn't some random audience member taping people's sets.
Gonna jerk off to this later.
Oh, that bald guy. Who that balding little baby boy up there? I'm gonna my splurge all over
16.
his. Yeah, he's like, who is 16 and getting older, man? 16 going on my nuts. That's what he is. And and I was like, no. But as soon as I tell him the next comic, and I'm being nice. and I'm about to go up, and he's like, no, you need to take it down right now. You need to come out and talk to me in the hallway. And this, like, it was just the attitude.
You're about to go up next.
About to go up next, and now he's like my gym teacher yelling at me because I forgot to bring gym shorts and berating me out in the hallway in front of the class and everything.
Did you have to go to detention?
I did. I had to do 10 minutes. I had to think about what I did. I had to write it on a chalkboard all before my set. I just like, and I didn't even feel like doing stand-up after like he takes me out there and he was like, and he did the whole thing where he's like, no, what if I let you go up there and you put, after I tell an audience member that they can't put a tripod up, then how am I going to explain to them that why I was able to let you and not them? It's like, what do you mean? Because I'm a fucking performer and because
this is my own shit.
It's my own shit, and then and they'll understand. And also, who are these audience members setting up fucking tripods?
Yeah.
That don't understand why performers can record and they can't. Like, fuck you. You're being an asshole. The whole thing is just being an asshole. This isn't about me being entitled that I should get to be able to walk wherever I want and tape wherever I want on other people's stages. No. I've always been very nice when I've gone there. I've asked permission in the past. They say you don't need to ask permission before. It used to be even sent me an apology email being like, we're sorry this thing happened. It's not our policy that the comedians can't perform. So any of this like entitled, like fucking people over there like, oh, this comedian's just entitled that I'm complaining about this. It's like, no, it's about him being an asshole to me. That's what it is.
You've been doing this for years. Like you've been both an improviser and a stand-up.
Yeah, I'm with the improvisers. Yeah. I'm on their site. So what this is, and this is the bigger problem. It's like if this was an isolated incident, that'd be fine. But it's like they're assholes like me, like that to me. Like on so many. Okay, there was one time it was raining, and they go, you can't go in the back. You got to go in the front to perform.
Oh.
I was like, but it's raining, so you need to go in the front.
I've heard other people have trouble getting in.
Just
the back.
getting in the fucking place. Jared Freed goes. Hilarious comment. He goes. Every time I go there, I'm just trying to minimize the amount of flack. He's like, I still don't know what door I'm supposed to go into because I get yelled at every time I go there.
Like I'm just gonna go to two booths.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat some pizza.
It's less asshole, and so yeah. Oh, and that time they made me walk in the front in the rain. Then they go, no, you need to go in the back. I go, they told me you need to go in the front. You need to go in the back. And then I go in the back, and then they're like, it's still raining, and she made me go in the front again. Thank God somebody came out of the actual show door and said he's on the show. But it's like that type of shit all the time. They're just being jerks.
So too many people thinking, maybe too many people managing, or too many people thinking they're in charge.
Everybody, if you're in charge of a door, that's like some sense of power that you have. You now are the gatekeeper to that door, and is. So now we have the economics of it, of why it's like, if you're going to be dickheads, I understand. I've worked at so many comedy clubs that they've been dickheads, but at least they're paying me. They're not paying you. They're charging for admission. They're charging for, all these people to come in, sold out shows, paying $5-10 a head. They're making hundreds of dollars and the comedians don't get any of that money. And their argument against that is because they say, well, if we pay the stand-ups, then we have to pay the improvisers. And then we're like, then pay the fucking improvisers. And they're like, oh, it's too many to do. So that's why they won't pay. They won't pay stand-ups because they say they won't pay because they won't pay the improvisers. And the improvisers,
and a lot of improvisers suck. Let's be honest.
But a lot of them are great too. A lot of them are awesome and they're hilarious. And not only do they not get paid, they have to pay.
They have to pay
a coach.
So much money.
They have to pay a director. They have to pay. They have to rent a room. They have to. If you're on a house sketch team, you got to buy your own props. I've talked to people over there.
Sometimes buy your own sneakers. Like everyone's wearing a different color. Like that's one of the reasons I transitioned to stand up. I'm like, number one, it's more autonomous, but you don't have to shell out so much money every time you want to get up.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I mean, when you first started doing stand-up and you went to like Broadway open mic and you had to do the 2-drink minimum, did that drive you fucking crazy?
I was like, well, at this point, I went to try and do the duplex mic, which is normally a really fun mic that feels like a show, and they out of nowhere started charging us 2 drinks, and I was like, but sucks. We're bringing this is like a show, we attract people, we're bringing a lot of value to you, and what they did is they're kind of turning off a lot of the really good stand-ups. It's I'm not gonna go and pay $10 to do an open mic,
It's like I understand paying your dues. I get that. I pay your dues. When I got to New York, I'd already been doing stand up in New York or
You're from
Chicago
right?
8 years. I'd already been headlining the club there, and then to come to here and have to go from headlining to paying to do an open mic. That's fine. I'll pay my dues all over again. That's
you would
fine.
Headline as an improviser in Chicago?
I was doing headlining shows, stand-up shows, touring with Second City, doing feature work at Zanies,
Wow. Yeah.
But I'm fine. So it's a little bit of it's home humble pie, having to do all that,
Eating
move to
a
new
pie.
city, and then just kind of like start over again, paying to do improv, that's fine. I get that.
Yeah.
But let's talk like these teams, these house teams, they've paid their dues. They've gone through the classes. They've gotten to the house team, and then they say, well, we financially can't afford. You have this school that is making millions of dollars every year. They can't build theaters fast enough to house all of the, in the class. The classes, they sell out in seconds. So you have millions of dollars. And so you have all these millions of dollars that you're pulling in from the school, and you're still making the performers shell out $400, a month to pay to perform. Paying to perform is where I get mad.
It's like the promise of every kid who signs up for that class, or like adult, obviously, because you're like, I might get on SNL.
Yeah.
It's the promise of like being plucked out, that gets people. That's why they sell out so quick, and that's why I was all about that scene for years, and then I did like kind of a house team at UCB, and then I realized like I don't really fit in like with what is the type here. Like I'm seeing the type that goes through and like has success. I don't really feel like that's me, and that's when I switched to the Magnet, did another house team, then I did a one-woman show, and then I was like, oh, I could do stand-up.
Right. One-person shows, that's the gateway from sketch to
it's scary, and that was like
kinda...
the most work I'd ever done before, like rehearsing all the time, and it's scary, and you like actually like think of yourself like an actor, which is also scary.
You don't have to get 9 other people to coordinate what day to meet up, and that's the beauty of like stand-up, is that you can just be like, I got a bit today, I'm gonna run it tonight, tomorrow I'll know if it's good or not.
There's always like, Nick, didn't you find on your team like there's always like 1 or 2 people that you thought like sucked, or like just
classes were I think classes were the funniest, because you'd be in the, there's always that one guy that you're just like, did you get this as a birthday gift? Did you get this as a prank? Did somebody at the office prank you or prank us?
Yeah.
By sending
I need to
you
work on my public speaking. I just need to loosen up. My wife is telling me I have to loosen up a little. So.
Well, you get that as stand-ups too. I mean, there's some stand-ups that you like sit down.
There's
the open mic, the weird guy at the open mic.
There's such a difference between the weird improviser and the weird stand-up. Like the weird stand-up person is almost like using it as therapy, whereas like the weird improv person is like, I think, using it like they're trying out being funny, and they're like maybe trying to make friends more and like be part of a group. Whereas stand-ups are not like really, they're not going to be part of a group. It's like it's kind of like every man for themselves. You make friends along the way, but like there's less. I guess like improv is innately group oriented.
There's a scene, but like there's definitely a scene that you're in. There's a community in stand-ups, but I think like when you're on a team, you definitely feel the need to be friends with the people on your team.
Because you're like, we are a unit. Like we are Cobra Balls. Like I always have to. Like, what were the names of the house teams you were on?
Oh, yeah. The team names are so stupid, man. They're like the dumbest. Face Punch was my first team I was ever on.
Face Punch. Like Fruit Punch. Mine, I was on, like, one called Harlequin at the Magnet, and then Haberdasher at the UCB.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, with Aaron Glazer. He was on. He just stand up. He was on my improv team at the time. But
You never did improv?
No.
Did you ever think about it?
I did it for 17 years when I was married.
How would you improvise?
Can I get a suggestion? Shut up.
Being happy.
I used to write scripts and stuff, so I think.
Oh, right. I remember when Jeffrey Gurrin was on, you were talking about that.
I could probably adapt to it if I tried, but.
Yeah.
I'm too old for this shit now.
You're never too old for improv.
Improv's, I mean, like, people are good at improvising is just talking, really.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to be in the moment. You have to try and like really not to be funny. You have to just be like truthful to the scene or whatever.
Yeah, that's where it gets murky. That's where like you go to a. That's why so much improv sucks. Because like these guys are more into the theater of it, or like they're either trying to be funny or trying not to be funny.
Or they like can't. It's all they can do to like just they're all they're gonna do is their Chris Rock impression because they know that that's their thing, and they're just like, how can I jam this into this scene?
Well, it's always the worst when you like, because I would coach improv, you know, and then you'd be like, "Oh yeah, it was great." You get some independent group. It's like you come in, "Hey, our regular coach can't make it. Can you Talk Punch? Can you come in and coach Talk Punch? Sketch up and mustard, you know, something stupid like that. Dog pills, and then they're like, let's run with it." But we would get there and like. I will say that I was in a sketch group that we would argue. We were arguing over our group name. Our group name was Persimmon Whispers, and
You have to whisper as part of it.
That was the argument half the group was like, well, you have to say the whisper, and the other group's like, well, no one's going to say the whisper, and I was like, that we argued about that, like, well, you put whisper in parentheses and like whisper right here when pronouncing this.
So stupid.
I know. we spent like an entire rehearsal. We almost broke up over it.
Yeah, that's like every group has a fight about what to name themselves.
But the funniest part about the argument is because people be like, guys, we're Persimmon Whispers. Like, we're not Persimmon Whispers. Well, you know what Dan said? We Persimmon, and everyone was saying the whistle while they were doing it. And that was pretty hilarious.
What if you couldn't
How long
whistle?
is the whistle for?
Yeah, another argument. Well, then you don't go to the show.
Persimmon Whispers. Can we just be Whispers?
Whispers. That's fine. But I just like a whistle in there. There's not enough words with whistles in there. We got 26 letters and we have a whistle we're never using. That's a sound you can make with the mouth. You can make more words.
There's a click language too, like as part of it. You know,
Yeah.
like, that's a word.
There's not enough click improv groups. Not enough Aborigine Herald teams.
So Nick, you are dating another stand-up comic. You're dating Amber Nelson.
I am.
You can throw up a picture. Yeah, I love Amber.
Throw up a picture.
Amber
Vomit
is
up a picture.
Actually, like one of my favorite stand-up comics. Like, period. Like I've always loved both of you. Did you guys meet through improv?
I actually saw her do an improv show at the Creek and Cave.
And you fell in love.
I was like, who's that hot funny girl? Mm-hmm. And then we were on a show together. I think I saw her at open mic after that. Then we did like the third time I think I saw her. We were actually on a show together. And
is that what she looks like in the morning?
Yeah.
I just got the funniest picture I could find of her.
It's a pretty great picture. She, speaking of, you see what she looks like in the morning. She talks in her sleep sometimes.
Oh, that's so cute.
Well, this is what she
really.
said. This, I swear to you, and I've told her this, and I told her I go, I hope I can tell. I'm going to talk to people about some of the stuff that you said. But one time she woke. I swear to you, she woke up. She sat up. And all she said was, murder.
Whoa.
And then she went back to sleep. And that's it.
Is it because she's on Murder Fist, like the sketch group?
She watches a lot of real dark, gory, dark web shit. Like
wow.
I went to look up something on her computer. This is like this week, and one of her tabs open was top 10 worst ways people have killed themselves.
Wow.
I was like, this is why you wake up and say murder in the middle of the night. You're looking
That's
up
so
at stuff.
dark. I had no idea she was so dark.
It's good he's getting this out in case something happens to him.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
you are gonna murder me in my sleep at some point. I know it. I just know it.
If she gets
That's
up
what I'm
and
saying.
says red rum, you better run.
Do you guys, because I dated a stand-up comic. I used to date Pat Dixon, and I wonder, and I observe other comedy couples. Like now I'm dating Frank, who's comedy adjacent. He books, but like, do you ever feel like you guys like will hear things or jokes in each other's sets when you go, I know that's about me and that bothers me? Like, does that ever happen?
I can't really
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do a lot of relationship material, I guess.
Yeah, I've noticed that you guys are like not super talking about that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like she's done like her. Yeah, she's. I'm trying to think of any. You know, she bitches about like Marilyn Monroe being this icon and like and Stephen Hawking cheating on his wife and shit. You know, like and she's got a very like dark, twisted, hilarious sense of a lot of stuff. It's not really a lot of relationship stuff, and I don't really do relationship shit either. We did have a conversation one time where she was like, "How come you don't talk about me in your act more?" And I was like, "Because I want to date you. I don't see that going well."
Because you feel like if you talk about her, what, she'll hear something she doesn't like? Or...
Well, no one who ever talks about their wife is about how much they love their wife or all the great. No, it's hard to just in
That's
general.
not funny, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's not
people wanna
funny.
hear
When I got divorced, I did all that divorce
Yeah,
stuff.
that was your peak. Like that's when you really came into your own.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever have any joke, or could you imagine constructing a joke that was complimentary of?
No,
yeah,
not
exactly.
No, not at all.
You have nothing
No,
good
it was-
to say about her.
It was brutal. No, I mean, if she was.
How therapeutic was that, though, to do stand-up?
It was nice. It was good.
It is kind of therapeutic. Like, I kind of, like, right now, currently, it's one of my favorite jokes, and it's about a guy who doesn't go down on you enough. And, like, I don't know. I didn't really talk about it with Frank, but, like, he started going down on me more after I started talking about this. Started telling this joke, and, like, we never had the conversation, but he knows it's a new joke. Like,
you don't need
he's been watching my stuff.
That's
I don't
real
know.
funny.
But I also started getting regular Brazilians. So, you know what? Maybe it's on me now. Maybe I need to get my shit together.
It can be clean.
Just make sure you don't do any jokes about anal.
No, we've never even done that. Do you and Amber do anal?
No, she made it very clear early on. She said a couple things early on of like, she kind of just dropped hints of things that would never happen.
And she was like, number 1, anal.
Number 1, anal. Number 2, us and Barbara Bush. And a threesome. And a 3-hot bush'em.
Yeah, threesome. I've done threesomes in like a past relationship, and then when I was like single, but like it's so different. It's like every relationship is so different. Like you think, I don't know. And I kind of like, I had the talk with Frank, like, oh, would we ever? Like, we had some fun with a stripper once in Utica, but that only cost us $40, you know? We never saw her again. And
so $40, huh?
But like, it's kind of actually very comforting to me. Like, Frank is like, he's like really picky about it. Whereas like my last boyfriend, we won't mention any names, was like dying to have a threesome, and then like now looking back, I'm like, oh, that made me feel shitty at the time because it's like we were barely together, and he was like, let's have a threesome, and then so I was like, well, I guess you've done all you can do with me, you know, but I don't know. So anyway, it's like it's a tricky thing.
The first time I had but performed anal.
Performed.
Yeah, I was with this girl.
Giver of the anal.
Yeah, I was with this girl that I had done many times, did everything, and we're fucking around, and she's like, "What do you want to do to me?" And I'm like, I'm running through my head like, "What the fuck didn't I do to you?" And then I'm like, yeah. I said, "Fuck you in the ass." She's like, "Yeah." I was like, I don't like it.
No.
Nah, I don't know. It's an asshole. I mean,
I had anal once with an ex-boyfriend many years ago with kind of a small penis, and I don't think he's watching right now because he works in D.C. But he works in wind energy. I better stop giving away clues.
His address.
Does he use his penis as a little windmill?
Well, it was like whatever. I am like so not a size queen that I couldn't give a fuck about. He just was like we were the same height. It's like that's bound to anyway. But he would like always try to sneak it in the morning, and I'd be like, "What is that? Really? This is my alarm clock?" Fuck. And like we did it a little bit, but then I was like, I just didn't want to do it again.
You gotta fuck with guys like that. You gotta say, "All right, now take out your finger and put it in your cock," and he's like, "Oh shit."
If you like because no lady wants their butthole to be the better hole.
No,
you know.
No.
It's like, why am I over here doing Kegels? You know, trying to pick shit up with it, just trying to keep it on fleek. I'm doing Kegels right now. No, I'm not. I'm afraid of bulking.
What are Kegels? I know what they are, but what are they?
You clench your like vagina muscles, like you're gonna stop peeing. Like you just like.
Oh, I love that when girls do that. They make it tight.
I'm trying to get good at it. I'm trying to like grab a whole penis with it.
Can guys I heard guys can do that too.
Yeah, you can practice by putting a towel on it and seeing if you can lift it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I thought
I'm up to 5 towels.
Maybe Sex
soaking
City.
wet.
But it's cool. I like that. I like that you aren't having anal sex with Amber. She's a sweetheart. I think she's too good for that.
She's having it with me though. I do think she does want to fuck me in the ass.
I could see her being a top.
I kind of think she does.
I could see her being a power bottom. You know,
she's joked about it too many times for me to not think it's on her mind in some way.
That's true. That's like, do you do it? I mean,
what would it like to be like as a woman? You're like, what is it like to be the person fucking somebody?
Yeah,
like,
I think that's what she wants to know.
Yeah,
I just have no interest in it.
Yeah, because
there's things I'm never gonna know. That's gonna be one of the ones she at least.
Like as a woman, you hear all the time like, "Oh, the prostate. It's like a magical place where they're gonna come instantly."
That's not a real thing.
I'll shit on somebody if they play with my asshole. I don't want that.
Figuratively and literally.
Yeah,
I will shit on both of them.
No.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Nick's recent feelings to maybe move to LA, maybe not. Maybe
sure, yeah. We'll talk it out.
Fuck LA.
When we come back.
Bulletproof has always been about identifying and taking advantage of every single thing that makes people perform better. When you drink it, you just don't care about food. No cravings, no hunger for 4 to 6 hours, and you feel a kind of mental clarity that you probably haven't felt in years.
Have you heard of Bulletproof coffee? I tried it today. I feel pretty good.
Are you a smoker and you need to quit, but you're discouraged cause it's harder than some like doing me? Favorite White Plains vapor. Favorite White Plains vapor. Are you a non-smoker but you like to do the tricks? Well, these are non-toxic clouds that exit your lips. Favorite White Plains. Oh yeah. Yeah. White Plains Vapors, located at 210 Mamaroneck Avenue in White Plains, New York. Visit our location and choose from a wide selection of exotic flavors. Addicted to Ink, a proud sponsor of the Zaraza Entertainment Network, is Westchester's premier tattoo, piercing, and apparel destination, offering only the finest tattoo and piercing services as well as the best atmosphere you will find. Addicted to Ink is located conveniently at 38 Westchester Avenue in White Plains, New York, right across the street from the Westchester Mall. If you got the itch for more ink, like the Zaraza boys do, get your work done right. Visit www.addictedtoinktattoos.com for more information.
You're watching the Zaraza Entertainment Network on ZenLive.tv.
Welcome back to 3 Drink Minimum. It's me, it's Chrissy Mayer. We're here with Nick Vatterott, the hilarious comedian, and also Chris Vaccarelli, the hilarious.
And I just got a Brazilian over the break.
Oh man.
Butthole Brazilian. What are those called?
A butthole.
The butthole
Is that what it's
actually
called?
is the part that hurts the least to get waxed. Like when the lady gets to the butthole, it's a kind of a relief because you're like, the worst part is over, you know?
And meanwhile, with sex, it's the other way around.
It's the other way around. The butthole is always the worst. God. I've been watching, because like on Twitter, these webcam porny girls have been following me more. And so I'm watching these little like GIFs and things, and I see like these large items going into women's buttholes. And I'm like, you have to work up to that because like I'm not even okay with like this is, we're talking like pint glasses and like huge things. And then they take it out and you're like, the butthole doesn't immediately bounce back. It's still it's still like open, like a submarine window for a while, and then it's just like. I'm like, what are these women doing to their bodies?
I'm a porn connoisseur. When I was young, we used to National Geographic. Now forget about it. I'm pulling out my knee cartilage.
Just about nipples.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The fucking phone is the greatest invention ever.
Jerk off to the Easter Island statues.
Oh my god! Yeah, they pull that shit out of the asshole. It's like you see a light.
And I'm like
from
peering
their
in.
mouth.
I'm like, does she need a colonic? How's her digestion?
Oh my
What's
God.
happening? Like, it's clearly not for me.
No.
Are you still? Do you ever get bored of porn? I feel like I've hit a wall.
Yeah. What kind of porn do you watch?
I like squirrel on squirrel.
Squirrel on squirrel.
Just 2 rogue
I had
squirrel.
an
I like
ex-
girl on girl stuff. That's the stuff I like.
My first
Really?
boyfriend
See,
ever.
I don't dig girl on girl.
I like
stuff.
a girl fucking
Really?
another girl.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
There's always like.
I want to like put myself in it.
I don't
yeah.
like, but I don't
so you
like
like
the
point
guy.
of view stuff? Like.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
that's the greatest
That's what Frank
invention
likes.
ever.
Why don't you pretend you're the girl fucking the other girl?
Because you don't want to be a girl, right? You're like, I don't want to be a girl.
But I love it. Some of these they have all the topics. They're like cream pies.
Have you
and-
guys seen the virtual reality porn
Hi,
yet?
Stand by Gypsy.
Yes.
Hello.
He's piping in.
Yes.
One of our broadcasters on Tuesday night, he brought in one of the VR machines, and it is the most ridiculous, surrealistic experience ever. Especially because the guy was like a POV, and it was like the guy was like kind of squatting
Prisoner
there.
of war.
That's POW.
That's POW, not POV.
Prisoner of vagina.
They do have
Prisoner of
those
vagina.
parts.
He was, but the worst part was like the girl was like kind of like reverse cow girling him.
Yeah.
And you would look down and you'd see his cock, and it was kind of weird. But
And you're like, that's not my cock.
Definitely wasn't mine
Right?
because it was a white guy.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
So you can look anywhere, and you look where they're looking in the thing.
Correct. It's 360, so you could damn near look behind
Jesus
you.
Christ.
And be like, I gotta do the dishes. Well, back to fucking, you know.
Yeah, you realize people aren't going to go anywhere very soon.
Wow.
Like, it's bad. It's bad. And it came free with the new Samsung phone for a little bit.
Oh shit!
It's that good.
gotta
huh?
get
Because
it.
that's how bad they need people to switch off from an iPhone. They're like, we're gonna give you some free
Porn.
prisoner of war porn.
I'm still jerking off to my flip phone.
My
There's gonna be
dad
those
still has
people
a
out
flip
there.
phone.
But they have all these weird, bukkakis and stuff.
I can't stand
I
it. And I've seen a couple.
when I
don't
first heard bukkake,
feel
I thought it had something
awful
to do with shit.
watching girls get cum on their face, and I'm like, don't you have any self-respect? I'm like, don't you wish you'd stayed in high school? Like, I think really too much about.
No, the first when this first started was with emails, with little videos and emails, and this sick motherfucker I knew used to send me the Asian shit where they throw up on each other. I almost
Oh, I haven't
gagged
seen that.
into-
I still haven't seen Two Girls, One Cup yet. I'm saving that.
Oh, it's good.
Ew.
It is good.
It's good? No, it's not good.
That's not good.
No, that was. They
So,
were
Nick, you like girl on girl stuff? That's fun.
I girl stuff. I think what's hilarious. There's like a part in porn now. I'm in a place in porn where like if the girl is like obnoxious, like if it's a girl that I could never see myself talking to, I can't
That
deal
makes
with
so
it.
much sense. You're like, God.
Like
she's
she
the
looks
voice.
annoying. She looks like she'd be annoying to talk to.
Yeah.
It takes me out of it. That's where I'm at.
Maybe
with
maybe
porn
we
right
should
now.
make some snuff porn.
That makes sense. No, you come to a point where
Where
you're like,
you can make them shut up.
Yeah, you make them shut up, you fucking kill them.
Nick's like, I need my porn but with a good personality. Like, she needs to not sound like she's from Long Island. I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking? There's some girl like if they're attractive, but then it's something like, oh, you just look like the most annoying human being.
She's like, you're
Person.
late. You're supposed to fix my sink.
I hear you, Nick. I don't like when they're like too porny. Like when they're just way too fake.
God.
Yeah, it's just overacting kills
Did
it.
you know I wrote porn?
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah, I did.
What was one of your porn
It was the
scripts?
best of
It
comes.
was like it was like
the blurs of
gangster
thumbs.
porn.
Like a gang bang?
No, like gangster porn.
Like everyone had a gun? Everyone was
Yeah,
a
it was
bang.
It's like mob style.
Everyone's a
Yeah,
rapper?
exactly. Yeah.
Interior. Man walks in. They fuck.
Interior
The end.
butthole.
Interior.
I had them
Butthole.
reciting like Shakespeare before.
You know what I love? You know what it kills me about porn is that they have the YouTube. They have the same model as YouTube videos. You know, so they'll have like you can like it. You can post it to your Facebook or your Twitter if you're a real monster.
Oh, yeah. Does anyone do that? Like, here, I was thinking of you,
Nobody.
Joe. Like,
Nobody.
please check this out,
You know
buddy.
what's the sickest fucking thing with porn nowadays? You ever see people watching it in the car?
No.
Guy just died recently because he was.
He should die.
He did. Yeah.
What?
He said he was.
Yeah.
He said he was jerking off to porn on his phone and he got an accident.
While he was driving.
No,
Don't jerk and
no,
drive.
No, you know like
Jerk
the
and
trucks. You know the trucks with the TV in it. I'm driving and I'm like,
There's trucks with TVs in them?
Yeah.
Like, my dad was a Teamster. He never drove a truck.
no,
with a
no,
TV
not a
in
truck
it.
like that. Like
So
a,
nowadays.
like a
Oh,
SUV.
like a, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Like
I'm
some
driving
shit
like
for the
normal.
kids.
Yeah, I was in White Plains. I'm driving normal, and I was like, holy shit, is that? And you see, I'm like, what?
That's weird.
You watched some guy beat it in his car while he was driving?
No, he wasn't beating it. It was like the porn. You see
saw
the
the
guy
porn.
banging the girl, and I'm like,
Were
what?
the kids in the back beating it?
I
Was
don't
anybody
know.
beating
I
it?
didn't see if there was kids in the.
Kids, if you don't shut up, I'll turn this porn off. I think it's the idea of watching porn and not jerking off is so weird to me. You know?
Yeah.
Like, just that's even creepier to me. If I were to see someone like in a public place looking at porn, like in a Starbucks on the
observing it.
laptop, I'd rather than be jerking off than just looking at it.
Yeah,
I'd
It's
be
like,
more
this is
weirded
my
out.
senior thesis. I'm a women's studies major.
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
breaking
watch.
this
I can't
down.
watch porn like recreationally.
It's so. In Chicago, I never had Wi-Fi at my apartment the whole time. I have to go to like a European style,
Starbucks?
like
Oh.
a Starbucks, or they had it actually. I think they did.
An Aubon pen.
Yeah, they had
Extra cream.
Panera.
Panera.
This cream. Why did you throw it in my face? Oh, but
warm.
they would have like these little like computer places that you pay $3 for an hour to use your computers, and
Oh, yeah, like the library or Kinko's.
yeah, it's like a little. I've seen they were there. They were around for a little bit. They've kind of gone already.
Oh,
but
if I'm
like,
paying money, I'm jerking off. I don't
it's
care.
like, well, that was when you'd go in and everybody's in an open area, and there was. I remember one time I walk in and there's a guy. It was 11 a.m. 11 a.m. And
That's
this
too early
guy,
to jerk
this
off.
guy, he was looking at dicks. All right, so this dude had like this window open, and there was just. It looked like JPEGs of just and he was scrolling. He was scrolling down, and it was hundreds and hundreds of dicks, and he was just kind of like checking
One
them
of
all
these
out,
like
looking them at.
multiple, like just like all the dicks.
All the dicks you could ever like, seeing what's new in dicks, the latest in
Wow.
dicks, any new dicks out there.
He's a numbers guy. Yeah.
And I was like, what a weirdo. I love that this guy's like, well, I gotta get up. I had to drag myself out of bed to go do this work. And it's like, well, I gotta get up. I gotta be looking at dicks by 11. I gotta have them all. And so, but then it was funny. I sit down. And I had to upload. I think I was like uploading like a resume.
Oh yeah.
And I uploaded it, and then I had to go find where I uploaded it. And there was all these dicks on the computer, and I had to scroll through all the dicks to find the resume.
Yeah, like I sent a picture of a dick to my headhunter.
So now I'm the guy. Then it's like some woman walks by and sees me, and now I'm the guy looking at all the dicks. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to find my resume.
That's how the
on
cycle.
here. That's how it all happens with one.
But dicks are like, I don't know, they're all the same, no?
I don't get.
You know,
Yeah.
you're either circumcised or not.
Oh, uncircumcised are the worst.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
turtle.
It's like a whole thing to deal with. You're like, I have to find where this thing starts, and you're thinking about what's under here. Like, when was the last time this was cleaned? It's like,
Yeah.
And then it's usually attached to somebody European who's like not really that good in bed anyway.
I like blowjobs, so you know, like porn with blowjobs when they're blowing an uncircumcised. I'm like, that's it. I find it.
Yeah,
nice.
Takes you out of it.
Yeah, it's like a penis to go. It's like in a to-go bag. You're like, why do I?
It's like that push pop when you were a kid.
Yeah, I like the push pops.
Yeah.
It is like a push pop.
Yeah.
This is really weird because this is what I always pictured. Do you remember this toy that you could like squeeze?
Oh,
and
water
the inside
weenie.
of it would come out, and then you would just do it over and over. Maybe it was water weenie.
You remember the water weenie, and you had to play. Like playing it was jerking it off. It was like a squishy, like, oh my god, you can put your finger in it, but also slosh it around. What? This was like.
That's how she got into
These
the
are
reach
so
around.
common. How do you guys not know?
look up water
They're called
weenie.
water weenies.
My computer crashed. when
Get
I looked
Frank
up
on. Get
water
Frank
weenie.
on the phone. See if you do the reach
I
around.
can't believe you don't know what water weenie is.
It might be what I'm trying to explain. Yeah, that's basically.
Water weenies when they take a
Yeah.
bath.
Nick, if you and Amber ever want to do a three-way, you should go on Thrinder.
Thrinder.
It's a app much like Tinder where you can find women or couples that want to do three ways.
I feel like if you're like anybody worth having a threesome with is not having a hard time finding people to have a threesome with. You know, I feel like Thrinder is probably like the people like, I can't get anybody to let me.
I had a couple with like two married couples I found on there, and they were the nicest people I'd ever met. Like I still kind of keep in touch with them every now and
Thrinder?
again. Yeah, and they came to comedy shows for a while, like before I started dating Frank. They were like nicest people. One of them
Really?
gave me a Christmas gift. I was like,
Really?
Maybe I could find a new following.
And they were like very like nice. Like everyone was like clean and well kept, and like no degenerates. You know, it's like they're just
no degenerate.
real
They just
people.
want a threesome.
I'm the degenerate.
We're not monsters.
But it is tricky because it's like it's got to be with somebody you maybe won't see again. Like not anybody that you're gonna like bump into.
Thrinder.
Thrinder.
Would
The
Frank
number
would Frank be
three.
into that? A little threesome?
I've brought it up with him, but he's just really like picky. I don't know. I don't think he wants like me to like log us on there as a couple because I think he doesn't want like people to see. But you can do a
No,
function
yeah,
where you can like
right.
it blocks out all your Facebook friends.
Has a threesome with someone in a relationship ever backfired?
Yes, because my last so when I was dating Pat, he wanted to have a three-way 3 months in, so we did it, and he did it with somebody of his choosing, and I was like a stupid 27-year-old, and I was like, sure, I'll do it.
A man?
It was a woman.
Oh.
With my boyfriend, like with
And-
Pat
and
at
a
the time.
woman.
We were only together for 3 months. It was like way too soon.
And another girl.
And a woman. She's
Oh,
also
that's
a stand-up comic. Like not
that's
like
good.
all that good, but I saw her around
She
a
was
bunch
good enough
after.
for a threesome. She gets my vote.
Well, she was married, and like so that wasn't really
Okay.
like popping her cork. So I guess I don't know. This worked out, but I brought condoms because I was like, well, if he does have sex with her, I want it to be safe. I was kind of like the mom, like, well, here's orange slices. Like I didn't want it to happen, but I was like, if it does, I definitely want condoms to be. But he took that as like, oh, that's the go ahead to go fuck this girl. So we were all like, whatever, things were happening, and then he just starts like fucking her from behind. I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, I think I was like traumatized, and it like fucked me up for a while. But I was like, oh, I just didn't. Like you can't plan yourself for seeing it until you see it, and I didn't realize like that was a boundary I should have set, and so like yeah.
Has it ever gone well?
Yeah.
In a relationship. Not like someone you're casually dating, like someone you're in a relationship with, threesome, and it went well. We're like, oh, I'm glad that went well. I like watching you fuck that person.
Haven't had that. Because you can have them where you don't necessarily, nobody has to fuck anybody. You just do other stuff.
Sure.
It just depends like what you're comfortable
Explain, please.
with. Well, one of the married couples that I met, the girl had the boundary of like, you can't fuck him. And I was like, great. I'm not really that into him anyway. I'm like kind of more here for you because she was like cuter. And so, but I would like, I watch them do stuff. I was kind of like in the middle of like a sandwich situation, but like I never had like any like penetration. We both blew them. This is so dirty. I wasn't planning on talking about this. It was fun, and then I got back on the PATH train, went home. Like they made me breakfast the next day. They had the sweetest dog. They had the most perfect dog.
You should have had a foursome with the dog.
Yeah.
No, ugh. But the dog would have. He was like very friendly and like.
At least,
But-
at least the dog will lick your ass.
But it's very tricky because like there was a moment where she was like, she thought that he was like more into me than he should have been, and it really wasn't. It was a normal ass eye contact moment. But like when you're the girl in the relationship, you're kind of the linchpin of the threesome. So it's like you're like the one that can make or break it because it's like the unicorn girl is like who no one can, right? It's like you're not. It's not really your place. It's not your like home team thing.
Right.
And you're gonna go after this, and the guy is gonna be kind of probably down with whatever.
You should blog about it. You should write a
Really?
yeah.
I
think
feel like
you
I
really-
haven't had enough to blog about it.
I would say even a book, but
A book.
I just
You have to be really upfront about your boundaries.
yeah.
'Cause,
I turned down the threesome once. There was two girls. One was good looking,
and one was gonna be
and
sucking
fucking
your
one
dick.
looked like she got fucking hit by a truck. So I was like,
Probably a truck of a guy jerking off to porn.
it's possible.
I was the fourth wheel of a foursome.
So there was 2 guys, 2 girls.
2 guys, 2 girls, and I felt
How
like
are you the 4th wheel?
I felt like I kept getting pushed to the.
It's definitely, I know the feeling where you're like, I
Yeah,
don't
like when the
know
dog
where to
tries to
jump
get
in.
it.
It's like double dutch, and you're like, I don't even know where to. Yeah, I felt that way.
I was trying to get in there, and then it just kind of turned out that I was always a wing person. So I was a assist. I was the John Stockton of a lot of coming.
Did you feel?
You know.
So was the girl that you came there with? Was she like your girl? Were you all like the same like level to each other?
We were all the level. It was a good friend of mine, and we kept our distance. We didn't even touch elbows the whole time. Right? That's how.
You didn't Eiffel Tower. You didn't
Yeah,
high
we didn't.
five.
Yeah, nothing like we didn't try to make the letter A with our peepees. But and then I remember like I was just like, what, okay, I guess I'll.
Was it like, it must have been like a moment where you're like, this is my friend and I'm seeing him naked and like I can see his penis. Like,
Yeah, but that's fine. I was like, as long as our penises don't touch, I'm fine.
right, everything else can
And,
touch.
Yeah, like ever see that porno where 2 dudes are like in the same hole? Like we're in the same hole. It's like
Yeah, that's-
I've seen ones where they're both in different holes that are very close.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how are you even
Nah,
making
that's
this
too
happen?
close.
That's too close.
Too close.
But I remember I went at one point. I was like, "Well, I'm gonna get a glass of wine because it's kind of been going on for a while, and I seem to kind of not really
I
be."
make myself a
You
sandwich.
couldn't like.
I
You could,
feel like-
you couldn't find the hole or something.
I feel like I was not really supposed to be there. I feel like these 2 girls were into this guy, my buddy, and then
know,
I feel like my
that's-
buddy was like, "Well, Nick should be in on this."
That's,
Did
I
you
think
at least
it's up-
masturbate?
It's up to the women
I got-
to include, like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, the guy's not going to
I'm
include
gonna be the, That's
you.
even sadder. I'm just jerking off in the corner
no.
while watching
I
a
fault
threesome.
these women because
got
it's
no
like
shame.
if you, the people you go, you're like war buddies. You all go in together. You involve everybody. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to. I don't know. I don't respect.
Yeah, everyone should get a.
Everyone is
Everyone should get a
responsible.
ribbon.
Yeah.
I would have fucked her in her ear. I would have
In
found
her
the
ear?
hole. Yeah, like he said, he couldn't find the spot. You make a spot.
Well, I start to be like, I would try to be like, I'll get in. They're like, well, no, I gotta go to her now. I'm like, oh, I gotta do her. And then
That's shitty. That's
and
a
I went
shitty
and I was like,
feeling.
yeah. And then I went and got a glass of wine. I was like, well, I'll get some wine. And then I brought back and everybody was putting their clothes on. I was like, really? And I actually got
So
mad.
annoying.
I got mad and I go and I swear to you, because
You
I was
should have been mad.
I was
would be
pretty
mad.
drunk, and the one girl, see, this is where like women hate
Were
guys.
these comedy people?
No,
Okay.
none of them were comedy people. And this was back in this is like when I first moved to Chicago.
So there's a lot
Oh,
of
it was
deep
in
dish.
Chicago.
I'm gonna get a deep dish pizza.
Yeah, and guys, I'm gonna go down to Charlie Waiters and get a no ketchup on that one. Hey, I put some ketchup on this one right here. I couldn't. I think I was not. I don't think they were into me. I think the girls were not into me, and then I think that's what it was. And then I like started so like the classic thing is if a guy is like, well, fucking everybody got off but me, and then the classic girls like, oh, a guy thinks that we owe him getting off, you know, and it turned into like one of those weird things, and I'm like, no, I'm not saying you owe me anything. I'm just saying we were having fun and everybody got off.
I know that feeling. I was in the middle of being with two guys, and I, in the middle of it, realized I'm not really all that into either of them.
Yeah.
But I felt like, I'm in this. Like
Two fives make a 10.
I'm gonna finish what I started. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a quitter.
No, you can't quit.
You just do what you gotta do and get out of there.
I kick myself for not doing the threesome with the ugly girl. I mean, you just push her.
You'll get another chance, I'm sure. Like this.
See, I think I was the.
Time's running out though.
No, are you kidding me? There's a lot
fucking
of
46 years old.
That's nothing. Go to one of these like sex clubs in the city. There's like so much people like older than you.
I don't want my
doing
dick to
all-
fall off either.
It won't fall off.
Yeah.
It'll be there.
Pick it up and put it wherever.
Pick it up and put it wherever. Man, the first time I went to a sex club, I thought, man, everyone's gonna be like better looking than me. I'm gonna be intimidated. And I get there and it's like looks like a bunch of dudes who have done work at my apartment, like people like my super, like everyone looks like, oh, it's like you think it's gonna be eyes wide shut, but it's like, oh, this is like a union meeting.
Was this one of those Williamsburg things?
No, it was Bowery. Well, Bowery Bliss was one of them, but I think the grossest one was Lay Trapeze. Like that was like everyone was kind of older, and you could tell they were like regulars and
saggy balls.
I saw this one guy. Do you go to Broadway much?
Do I go to Broadway?
Broadway Comedy Club.
I don't know.
Okay. So I saw this like kind of regular guy there.
I do.
Like
I know.
at the Lay Trapeze place. I was like, oh my god, that's
dude.
somebody I know. And then I was weirded out for like the rest of the night. I was like, I can't see this. But he was clothed. I just like saw his face.
Chrissy, would you do a tranny?
A transgendered person or a transsexual?
What the fuck is the difference? Can you explain this to me?
I was a women's studies minor.
Okay, so school me.
I took
What's the
a
difference?
couple classes in this. Transgendered is obviously, Bruce Jenner.
Okay.
You switch. But transsexual, I think, is you have both.
You were born that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like one had the surgery, one didn't.
I've heard that in third world countries, when babies are born with ambiguous parts,
right,
they say it's easier to make a hole than a pole. So they go ahead and make the kid like female.
Right,
They'll get rid of the sort of penis, but then they grow up.
So transgender is surgically made into
fully changed into the. And transsexual is like you're kind of dealing with both.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a fucked up thing.
I mean,
man, and
I like men, I like women. If I'm really into like an individual, then I probably would. I probably wouldn't, unless their parts were like weird, and I was like, I have a tail or something.
I met a girl on Tinder, and she was like, before we get started, I gotta be honest with you. So I'm like, all right. And she said that she was a dominatrix. So I was like, all right, that's
You're
nice.
like, hello.
Right. So all right, that's cool. And then she said she worked at this place in the city, and then I looked it up, and I see her on there. She had a fucking dick.
And she started it by saying, I got to be honest with you.
I have a bit.
Did you see it?
I do a bit. Yeah, I saw it on the thing. It was impressive. But
Wow.
no, I do a bit on it.
Could you hook up with someone with a bigger dick than you? I don't think I could. Wait, let's do.
Everybody's got a bigger dick than me.
No. All right, let's do some plugs. First, I want to throw up Nick Vatterott's image. Everyone, buy his album. I'm going to wait for the image to come up. Nick, when did this album come out?
Oh, it came out. It's recently.
And the title of it is, it's called like something.
For amusement only.
Right, for amusement
It's on Comedy
only.
Central Direct. I think you can get it on
Ooh.
Spotify, iTunes,
Awesome.
the internet.
And that's Nick and Amber. Nick, where can people find and follow you?
You know what? Nick Vatterott. NickVatterott. Just type that in. I'm all of them. I'm on Thrinder now. You can find me on Thrinder.
He just made a profile.
I just made a profile.
Oh, yay.
I just photoshopped 3 of my own heads onto.
Chris Vaccarelli, where can people find you?
Friday at 10 o'clock, Broadway Comedy Club, and then Wednesday the 30th at Levity Live, 7:30.
Wow. Wow, very impressive. Amazing. You can find me at Chrissy Mayer. This Saturday I'll be at some apartment show in Brooklyn, but it's got a good lineup.
Nice.
And ChrissyMayerComedy.com. And that's all. Join us next week when I think we'll have Alex Engelbert, Jason Scoop's ex-girlfriend, on. So that's it. Have a good night.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.